Have you had a serious relationship?
I have many concurrent serious relationships as we speak.
Are you poly?
No, because that means they can talk to other dudes. That's fucking haram. That's atrocious. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Agreed. Throughout the majority of human history, female promiscuity has been absolutely frowned upon. Only in the Western world we're going to pretend it's an okay thing. Every single culture since the dawn of human time and every single place on the planet has said that female promiscuity is disgusting to the point where females were executed for it.
Yeah.
And most of the world today...
As they should be.
Get the rocks.
Yeah.
Abdul?
Yeah. Get the rocks.
Get the rocks. In most of the world today, it's still frowned upon. It's unacceptable. Yeah. Whereas every single king and sultan and sheikh since the dawn of human time had multiple women. Men are allowed multiple women. Women are not allowed multiple men. Because if a woman has multiple men, you cannot ensure paternity. I can walk and have 10 wives behind me. That's perfectly acceptable.
So
if a woman has 10 men, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, Kylie, thoughts?
I mean, I'm a serial monogamist. I would prefer to only have one man, and I would never like cheat on him ever. Like, I feel like cheating is more disgusting than having multiple people. That's just my opinion.
I think it's the same thing, like that I said before. Like, if the guy has money and he wants to have a bunch of women and take care of them, then I'm okay with that. But if he doesn't want the women to be with anybody, that makes sense. It's resources, makes sense. But if they're not providing anything, then I'll just have sex with whoever I want.
Yeah, I mean every time I always get confused after she goes first.
If a guy had like a whole bunch of girls.
It's just your reaction to the video that we just watched.
Do you care about guys having a bunch of girls?
We all watched the same video.
Yeah. If a guy has a bunch of women, I mean, I get what he's saying about like the paternity. Like, if a guy has a bunch of women, you know who the dad is. Whereas if a girl has a bunch of guys, it's like, oh, you know. So there is some truth in what he's saying, but I feel like personally, I'm not the one either to have like a bunch of guys. I'd rather have one, and if I do, I'm not gonna cheat. But yeah, basically.
Do you guys have any take on the video?
100%. Me and him actually have had to talk about this, but I'm gonna let him go first because I know exactly what he's gonna say. So I don't want to steal his.
I mean, I want someone to ask him what he thinks, what he's gonna think when he has a daughter. Like, I fuck with everything he says. I don't agree with having a bunch of girls and because he wants to have a bunch of kids with them. And it's like a weird family dynamic if he does have kids with them. It's just kind of fucked if you were to have a daughter and you have a bunch of girlfriends, because it's gonna like fuck up her mental, right? And then fucking forgot the question, but no, I mean, I'd rather prefer to be with one girl that's like super chill, because to be able to handle a bunch of girls, it's too much energy that you're putting out. I'd rather focus on other things than having 10 girlfriends and doing all that shit.
Tristan?
Yeah, I agree with him. I mean, I get the perspective of like thinking of it. If you have a daughter, would you want her to be with a guy that has like 10 other girls? No, I mean, most guys wouldn't want that for their daughter. Thanks. I mean, but for me, you know, I think I would prefer to just have one girl. I think the girls not being able to really have like, not saying not being able to, but like being frowned upon for having too many guys. You know, I get it. Like, I get it, but then guys are like praised for having several girls. You know, that's kind of just like the nature of how people are thinking now. You know, they're still thinking that way. I'm not saying it's right, but that's just the matter of the fact how people look at it, you know.
Yeah, guys definitely don't want a girl that's ran through.
That's ran through.
It's true. They don't prefer it. Yeah. Some guys will be with them. Those guys probably don't get as much girls as the other guys, but.
And if you're a girl and you're going with this guy and you know that he has several girls, you know, most likely she's just chasing the bag, you know. Like, what's his name that owns? God, what's his name? He owns that, like, Ignite. What's his name?
Dan Bilzerian.
Bilzerian. He has so many girls with him all the time. You know, I don't know if he hooks up with them, but, like,
it's
those
like
girls.
Hugh Hefner.
Huh? Yeah. He's literally the modern day Hugh Hefner, and he has, like, all these girls, and they're there for the lifestyle. They're there for the fun. and they're not there for a relationship. But if you're in the scenario where a guy's hiding a whole bunch of girls and he just makes you feel like you're the only one, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. 100%.
But if some she for example she wouldn't really care. She'd like if he's gonna provide that type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
She'd be
that.
on the
So there's-
Brazilian boat.
So there's some girls that don't really care, but
Well,
I
it's
feel
not like
I feel like most girls would rather prefer being with one specific person, building a relationship with them and a family with them
Right.
for the future instead of
most people want that, but then I just look at it as I'm looking way ahead where now the guy's like 60 years old and we're both 60 years old and he's still attracted to 20-year-olds. You know what I mean? So it's like not natural for him to only want to have sex with me when I'm 60 years
So
old.
would you
and
be
we're both
okay with that?
And yes, I would.
Wait, so you would be with a guy?
Like if he wanted to sleep with who he's the king of the house.
You do realize you wouldn't have any type of like real connection with him, right?
No, if we had like my cousin, she's in an ethical, non-monogamous relationship where
The
they
fuck
are
does
committed
ethical
to one
mean?
another, but they are allowed to have sex with other people.
Whoa.
Open
That
Because-
is so weird.
Wait,
Because
both of them?
Both of them, and because relationships and sex and love doesn't always intertwine, like we were
Well, then-
saying earlier. Like love and sex doesn't always go together. Sometimes it's just a physical thing.
That
So
is
then you don't need to be
strange.
dating them if you're just trying to fuck someone.
I did not expect that from you at all.
Wait, what are you assuming?
I mean, I'm not assuming anything, but I guess the way you're
I-
talking about like personality,
I-
you cared about personality, and then you're like, yeah, but like if a dude was
think-
like fucking another girl while I was dating
I
him,
think
it'd be
No,
fine.
not if I didn't know about it. If he cheated on me.
But if he
then-
told you, you'd be okay.
But if he wanted to, because a man wants to naturally spread his seed. A woman,
I get that.
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
I know what you mean. That in the nature of
It's just natural. So that's just how I think.
Just
of
because
it.
it's natural doesn't mean you can't like have your own.
Well, it'd be better to be with a committed person, but like for example, like I massaged a 70-year-old man who was like, "Oh,
Showing
I've
your
been married for 40 years." And I was like, "Oh, that's great." And he's like, "Yeah, it's really not working out." So
Oh.
it's
There's probably other issues in the relationship besides just the
right, but
sex
I just
part.
think
Yeah.
naturally, like, it's just not. It's like it would be nice to commit yourself and build with one person, but it's more about commitment. So if you could find someone that wants to commit with you, then that's different. And then if you decide, oh, I'm not happy, I'm not satisfied in the relationship because we're old now, and I bet,
So-
like, for example, like the sugar baby thing. I know there's a bunch of married men on those sugar
lot.
baby
Oh,
things.
100%.
Oh yeah.
It's,
Okay.
They're
And-
all, they're
and
all
they
labeled
are-
discreet.
And they're
reason.
cheating. They are cheating.
Well,
And
no
those
shit.
women do not know.
Listen. There's also sugar mamas too, but like that all comes down to like they're losing their spark. I guess we were talking about earlier. You know, that little feeling fades sometimes for some people. You know, if you don't spice it up, you don't like after being
Yeah.
together
So
for
I
so
don't want
long.
to
It's
live
just like
in-
there's changes. You know, it's exciting. You know, changes like. You want to look for change. You want to, you know, if you're not keeping with change, you're being boring. You know, after that many years, you're that old. You know, I get it. Yeah, the guy or the girl are gonna get bored and they're gonna seek for someone else that can,
Right.
you know, something change, something new. They're gonna look for that.
Costumes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
costumes.
Just
yeah,
spice things
you
up
know
in the
what?
bedroom.
Start doing some kinky shit. It's gonna get
Exactly.
into-
That's the solution. Bro.
Or for example, like some couples want to bring a third person in the bedroom. Like,
I'm
like-
way too jealous for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
I
But think,
could
okay,
never.
right now, but you're like young right now, and you're early in your relationship. Think like you're in a relationship for 30 years,
Right.
40 years.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not saying that's okay, but
Wait,
like
you would bring a guy in?
Fuck no.
What
No.
if she?
He would
No.
wanna
What if she
bring-
wanted it?
Most of the time, when a guy
Bring a
asks
girl
for a
in.
threesome, they
Right,
want to bring
yeah.
another
Girl.
girl in.
which I'm not saying it like right now, like
Personally, though, I
could
don't
not.
think I'd want to bring another guy in.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I would rather have another
Ew.
girl.
Cool, you heard.
Nah,
here,
Brian.
guys.
I know for a fact you love that, bro.
yeah, but
Not saying I'd want one. I don't
Fuck
want one,
no.
but if it came down to
sword
it,
fight, man.
The sword fight.
Nah. Well, okay, so threesomes, straight up no for the dude. Even a
No.
girl though, I'd rather only disappoint one woman at a time. So I mean,
That's heroic.
You wouldn't have enough time for both.
just. But yeah.